Is it on? Yes, it's on. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the advert break. I bring to you the rest of Danny Posthill. Not the rest of him.
I'm still fully clothed. Do you know what I like about this is we've actually changed it round. So it's like, I was watching a documentary about Donald Trump and he had someone interviewing him, and this was sort of the format. They had someone across of him. So he's answering his questions, you know. I think it's fantastic, it really is. Because he has the different voice, Donald, when he's lower pitched, when he's interviewing like this. It's fantastic. And then he gets higher and higher when he really tries to emphasize everything and get his points across to everybody. And that's when he starts to play the harmonica as well. It's fantastic.
Who was that?
Nigel Farage.
Oh, I love it.
Well, you know, we love Nigel as well, you know. The only difference is, instead of, Nigel would like probably a pint of bitter in his front room while he's doing a lovely interview, and occasionally go outside for a cigarette, you know. So that'd be quite good. Thank you.
That brings me up to my next question.
Yeah.
Have you ever smoked?
When I was a kid, right, I think the most amount of cigarettes I've ever smoked in a day is about 2. I've never been a smoker. I used to just occasionally go outside and have a cigarette with me mates because I was just sat in the pub on my own while everyone else...
Conscious about looking after your voice?
No, not really. It's just something I've never liked. Because if I was conscious about looking after my voice, but you know, I love a drink, Steph. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't drink as much. No, but I think so. Yeah, if you're drinking too much, I don't think it's very good for your voice. But I remember, right, my mum. I was outside having a cigarette. I was about 21, and my mum comes over to me. She was nipping into, you know, the Fens pub in Hartlepool.
Yeah.
So I'm outside having a cigarette with 2 of my mates, and my mum's nipping to the shops, and she sees me. She's like, "What do you think you're doing?" And I was having a cigarette. I said, "I'm having a cigarette, Mum." She was like, "You're not now." She took the cigarette off me. I'm like, "Mum, I'm 21. You know what I mean?" I've always been like a proper mummy's boy, you know.
I would never have thought. But can I ask you, you've spoke about your mum and your granddad.
Yeah.
And comedy acts. Who inspired you? Where did you... I know you've mentioned some people, but...
Impressionist-wise, it has to be Alistair McGowan. He's always been my hero. Billy Connolly. Love Billy. And I remember I met him. It was great. What it was is I was going to... Amy, my girlfriend, got me tickets to go and see him for my birthday.
Yeah.
Which I was just made up by. And she couldn't go. So anyway, Bobby Davro come along with me. So we watched the show, and it was just brilliant. Billy was just genius, and Bobby said, "Come on," he said, "we're going to go backstage and meet Billy." I says, "Do you know Billy Connolly?" He went, "Yes, I know Billy Connolly." He said, "I'm Bobby Davro, I know everyone," right? So anyway, he gets to see the security man, and he went, "Excuse me, can you get backstage because we need to go meet Billy?" And the security man wouldn't let him in. And he had to radio to Billy's security to get us backstage.
Yeah.
And as we're walking, I'm going, "Oh my God, we're going to meet Billy Connolly. This is incredible." So I'm going to Bobby. He says, "How do you know Billy Connolly?" Because I can never remember them doing anything together on telly.
I can't.
So I said, "How do you know Billy?" He went, "You see." So we went backstage, and Billy does the point that Billy does. And as we walked into his dressing room, he went, "Bobby Davro, the bravest man I know. The only man who was brave enough to sit next to Salman Rushdie and is still alive," right? And apparently they'd been in this restaurant with Jerry Rafferty, and no one else had sit next to Salman. There was like 4 empty seats next to Salman Rushdie because no one had sit next to him for very obvious reasons. So, but Bobby just felt sorry for him. That's the way Bobby is, bless him. So Bobby went and sat next to him. And so... You know, imagine at his funeral if he did get shot, you know what I mean? Oh, he was a lovely bloke, you know, he was a selfless man. And then he said, "By the way, this is a good friend of mine, Danny Posthill. He's a brilliant impressionist," which was so lovely of Bobby. And Billy looked at me and he went, "Do you know that's something I've always wanted to be able to do?" I was like, wow. And I didn't dare do his voice back to him.
Right.
Because I thought if he didn't like it.
Oh, you should have.
But then that might have been a sort of something to put in your record, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean? A story to tell. Billy Connolly told me to fuck off. Right, that'd be...
Next time, grab the bloody opportunity.
Exactly, I know. But he's we were talking about my favourite jokes that Billy had said, and he said, "Do you know?" He said, "What was your favourite joke?" And I says, "I love the joke about the guy at the sewers, and I'm going to tell it to you now. It's one of the funniest jokes I've ever heard." He said, "There's a guy who works in the sewers, you know, and he loves his job. So I went down to meet him. I said, 'All right, how's it going?' He says, 'Oh, great.' He said, 'I love it here.' He said, 'I cover everybody's holidays.' He said, 'I love this place. It's my life, you know.' He said, 'You see that jobby there?' And you know what a jobby is, don't you, in Scotland? It's a shit. So he goes, 'You see that jobby there?' He says, 'Aye.' He said, 'That's Steve's. Takes a jobby 9 o'clock every morning, there it goes. See that jobby there?' He says, 'Aye.' He said, 'That's Frank's. Takes a jobby same time every morning as Steve, the crossover, you know.' Anyway, it comes to 12 o'clock. He said, 'You see that jobby there?' He says, 'Aye.' He said, 'That's my wife's.' He said, 'How do you know that?' He says, 'I've got my sandwiches tied to it.'" Oh, I was just so nervous meeting him though. I just felt like, I was like, that, you know, didn't really know what to say to him. Oh, this was 2015. So it was, year and a half ago, something like that.
Still with Pamela Stevenson?
He's still with Pamela Stevenson, I think.
Years and years.
They've been together for years,
forever. She was funny back in the day.
Yeah, she was on the 9 o'clock news.
Yeah, that was a good programme. Ron Atkinson.
Yeah, he was on there. They got a lot of comedy legends from that show as well.
Yeah, it was a really good show.
So yeah, meeting him was just the pinnacle. I also met Barry Cryer.
Yes, I seen him on.
And Barry was lovely. I can't quite do an impression of Barry, but I can give it a good try. He's sort of like, I need to watch him more to get the impression right. But I went up with him and I says, "Barry, lovely to meet you." And I says, "I love the parrot joke that you wrote." And he said, "I didn't write it." He said, "Me and the team of writers wrote it." Because he never took credit. And so anyway, I shook his hand, got a photograph with him. And I was on the table with John Altman, you know, Nick Cotton from EastEnders. Yeah. "Hello, Ma, yeah. So I'm on a table with John, you know, yeah. Sat watching Barry Cryer, you know, yeah." So sat there at the table. And when Barry started, after dinner, he said, "Oh, I've got an announcement to make before I do start this interview. Someone's requested the parrot joke." And he'd done the parrot joke for me. Oh, and it was like, I can't believe he just... Anyway, you want to read the parrot joke now, don't you? No, yes, I told you that.
We do.
Basically, this is the last joke I'll do, by the way. The rest we'll just talk. It's a woman walks into a pet shop and she sees this beautiful parrot in the corner and she says to the man behind the counter, "How much is that parrot in the corner?" She says, 20 quid. 20 quid for that parrot? "Yeah, but I do need to tell you, he gets a bit carried away with himself." "Why is that?" "Well, he used to work in a brothel and he can, you know, say things that you don't really want to hear." "I don't care, 20 quid for that parrot." So anyway, she gives him the 20 quid, takes the parrot home, puts the parrot on the table, cage, takes the top off, takes the cover off, and the parrot goes, "Oh, look at this, new house." Anyway, the daughters walk in, "Oh, look at that, new girls." Anyway, her husband walks in, he goes, "Oh, hello, Keith." So that's the parrot joke, the Barry Cryer.
Worked in a brothel, and her husband went to the brothel.
Yeah, for the people who didn't get it, my darling.
No, got lost. A lot of my funnies that like a bit of a snooze this time of day.
Right, okay.
So what's next on the agenda for you, Danny? You done Britain's Got Talent, which I think's amazing.
Yeah, that was an experience. Right. So my first audition, I was doing a comedy club in the Hen and Chickens. A guy called Jeff Whiting booked me for that.
Is that a made up name, Danny?
It's in Islington. There's a comedy club called the Hen and Chickens in Islington. So there was quite a few comics on, and the producer Matt Banks was there. and he's seen me. And anyway, the researcher called me and says, you know, we want you to be on the show. And I was like, lovely. So anyway, I was meant to be doing it in Manchester originally because it was the closest place to where, like, Hartlepool. And then they rang us and they said, look, can you do Edinburgh? And I said, well, Edinburgh's a bit far. They said, don't worry, we're going to pay for your flights. Should I be telling people this? We're going to pay for your flights and we'll put you in a hotel. So they paid for my flights, put me in a hotel.
You're not collaborating with Salman Rushdie. You'd only go on
No, exactly, I know. No, but I'm just saying people might think it's a little bit fixed. It's not. Anyway,
no.
This is the... So I'm thinking, hang on, they're paying for me flights to put me in an hotel. Anyway, so I'd done my audition and it was like, I walked on stage and Simon says, hello, how are you? I says, I'm very well, Simon, how are you? He said, yeah, good. He said, what's your name? I says, Danny Posthill. He said, oh, sounds like a pop star. And Amanda went, is that what you're going to do for us? I says, oh, no. I says, I'm going to do some impressions. And Simon says, all right, okay, is that what you do for a living? I says, well, yeah, I do after dinners. Because it's really edited down on the telly, my first audition. Right. I said, I do after dinners, comedy clubs, you know. Anyway, that'll pay me, really. He said, what would it mean for you to do the Royal Variety? I says, well, it's the Golden Goose, isn't it, Simon, you know? He said, well, what would be more important, the Royal Variety or the money? I said, well, the money. I said, because I want to buy a house. I'm bloody skint, right? And that got a big laugh. And then he said, all right, Danny, best of luck. So I went on, done my set. And lovely comments from David, lovely comments from Amanda, lovely comments from Alicia. And Simon went, oh, well, it was all right. And people went, boo. And this wasn't on the show, actually. Simon didn't actually like me. He said, why did you do Billy Connolly? And I says, Amanda went, well, we're in Scotland, Simon. I said, thank you, Amanda, because we're in Scotland, Simon. And then he got the ump then, because everyone was against him. Yeah. Because he's a bit of a power freak. And he went, he says, nah, he said, I don't think your Beckham was any good either. I think anyone can do him. So I went. That's what I said. I said, really? I said, go on then. I said, you do him. Everyone was going, do it. So the crowd were behind me. And then he said, well, you know, he said, I just thought it was a little bit dated. I went, all right, okay. He said, but you know, the reason you got a good reaction is because you're funny, you're good, I like you. But I think he had to say that for the cameras. Right. Because if you watch it back, it just shows Simon liking me. It didn't have the rest of it in. Right. So he said, David, yes or no? And then yes. Well done, Danny, you've got 4 yeses. Wow. And then before the semi-final, when I found out I did get through, we were going through like all kinds of... I actually was on a couple of shows. I was on This Morning with Amanda and Philip Schofield, so that was interesting. Loved that. And I was on Lorraine. Right. And there was a guy called Dane Wooden. I don't know whether you know Dane. He's a really camp guy from New Zealand. He reports everything in the Sun. He's basically a nosy bitch version of Piers Morgan, right? Yes. He's the, you know, up and coming Piers Morgan, but he gets his claws out at times, you know. So I was a bit apprehensive of getting interviewed by him, but he was really nice. He gave me loads of compliments, you know, give me lovely compliments. And semi-final, I had to run through my set for the producers. When I done the open mouth face joke as Anton Deck, they just weren't expecting that at all. Well, this was in the rehearsals, and I says, I always pull this open mouth face, and I done that. Yeah. And then obviously he just pulled it. So then on the night, Deck says to me, he says, so how do you want me to do it then? Do you want me to pull the face like, do you want like you would? I says, just do it as we done it. I mean, not that I need to tell him about comedy timing, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But it was just priceless the way, it was just brilliant. And to be fair, he helped me out a lot with to help the gag work, you know. The final, I had a migraine.
About we talk about the final after the break?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
The producers in me here. Actually, it's because we only got it 15 minutes because I can't put longer on YouTube. See you in a bit. Love you. Bye. See you in a bit.
Love you. Bye.